Good morning and welcome to Hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to seven, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Today is Thursday, July 25th. That's right, Scott Simons. Today is Thursday, July 25th, 2019. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Thursday, July 25th, 2019. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most of this incredible day. Fair enough? Let's make the absolute most of this incredible, incredible day. The word of the day is grind. It's like Sesame Street. Grind. To perform repetitive motions over and over in order to attain a goal. This week we've been diving into the Rise and Grind Planner. This amazing, amazing book that has changed lives around the country and actually around the globe. We've been diving into the Rise and Grind Planner, and at the beginning of each day, right there at the top, it's got a nice little quote. And so today's quote says, grind to perform repetitive motions over and over in order to obtain a goal. This was contributed by my man, Jeremy Noling. This is a picture of Mr. Jeremy Noling right here. Jeremy Noling watches our show fairly often, if not every single day at some point, sometimes live, sometimes on replay. And I've actually had the opportunity to shake his hand. He's a massive dude. He's a really, really, really big dude. But he's also just one incredible and human being with an amazing heart and amazing story. We're going to dive into that a little bit more today. But for starters, I want to make sure. Hey, well, there he is right there. What's up, Jeremy Noling? For starters, I just want to dig in. Grind to perform repetitive motions over and over in order to attain a goal. We're going to do something a little bit different this morning. Right now in the comments, I need you to put your goal. What is your goal? What is it? What is the goal? I need to know. I need to hear from you. What is the goal? Drop it in the comments. You see, this week, like I said, is Planner Week, and this week is about you dialing in your morning routines. This week is about you putting yourself in a position to win. This week is about you fulfilling the promises that you made to yourself earlier in the year. This week is about you taking this book, this incredible book, and dusting it off the shelf if you haven't been using it every day, dusting it off, cracking it back open, and putting it to work. You see, when you made this $50 investment, it was $50 when you originally bought it. Now that we're later in the year, you can get one for $20 at glenlundy.com. But when you made the investment in this book, when you bought this planner, you had a dream, you had a vision, you had a goal, you had an idea in your mind that you were going to use this thing and you were going to use it repetitively every single day so that you could set the tone for your morning routine, so that you could set the tone in your life. So if you are not using this every single day today, now that we're at July 25th, 2019, I get it. Because you, my friend, are a creature of habit, just like I am and everybody else. And it takes a while to lock this in. Takes a while. Some people get it right off the back. Some people don't. So we're revisiting. This is Planner Week. Grind to perform repetitive motions over and over in order to attain a goal. So you may have fallen off a bit, but today, right now, we're going to get you back on track. But honestly, what is the point? What is the point of getting back on track with your planner? What is the point of breaking it out and dusting it off? What is the point of going through the repetitive actions every single day? What is the point if you don't know the goal? There's no point. You're like, okay, I'm going to get this on track. Well, what track are you going to get it on? What is the goal? On my way to the studio here today, I listened to this incredible video. I was listening to some type of Audible or some type of something to just feed my brain. And as I was listening, on the way in, it was just talking about goals and talking about how God has called us to dream big. I was listening to Zig Ziglar, and he was saying, some people say you need to minimize your goals, you need to make them attainable, so on and so forth. That's BS. You'll never do anything big until there's a paradigm shift. You'll never do anything big in your life until you start to believe big, to dream big, to chase big, massive goals. I will have the #1 most watched morning show in the world. That's the goal. And I will fight every single day towards that goal. And I don't know exactly how it's going to work out. I don't know exactly who's going to come in what place and how it's going to work. I have no idea how I get to be #1 in the world, but that's the goal. What is your goal? Drop it in the comments. If you haven't done so already, drop it in the comments right now. This is interactive. I need you to come along with me on this journey today. If we are going to make a shift in your life, if we're going to get you back on track, I need to know what track we're getting you on. Drop it in the goals. Speaking of Zig Ziglar, let me drop something on you real quick. I think I got this.
Give me a stock clerk with a goal, and I'll give you a man who will make history. But give me a man without a goal, and I'll give you a stock clerk. Goals do not care who has them. Let me give you a classic example of the way they work. In 1950, a war-torn, devastated Japan, a nation which had lost an incredibly high percentage of its young men. Their cities were in ruins, they had been bombed out, but in 1950, they got together, they meaning industry and government got together and set a goal. The goal was we're going to be the #1 nation in the world during the 1950s in the production of textiles. In 1959, ladies and gentlemen, they accomplished that objective. In 1960, they set another goal. We're going to be the #1 nation in the world in the production of steel. Now, when you understand there's no iron ore in Japan of any significance, there's no coal of any significance there, we're going to be the #1 nation in the world in the production of steel, it seemed like an absurd goal, and yet they reached their objectives. They had taken all of the steps. In 1970, the Japanese set another goal. They said during the 70s, we'll be the #1 nation in the world in the production of automobiles. They missed it, folks. 1 year. It took them until 1980. In 1980, they set another goal, and this time their goal was, we're going to be the #1 nation in the world in the production of computers and electronics. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, you absolutely must have those goals. You got to write them down. You got to put a date on it. You got to identify those obstacles. You've got to identify the people, the groups you need to work with. You got to find out what it is you need to know. You got to develop a plan of action, and you got to write it down. What's in it for me? For 10 or 15 years, I was going to write a book. You know anybody who's going to do just a whole lot of things, folks? But it wasn't until I got busy writing the book and writing the plans first before the book ever materialized. When I started to write the book, I took precisely the same steps that I'm talking about. I wrote down the objective. I wrote down the time I completed or expected to complete the book. I identified the obstacles there. And yes, I know this is repetitious. It's the mother of learning. I wrote out and identified the people, the groups, the organizations I needed to work with. I devised a plan of action to do it. I spelled out what I needed to know, and I wrote it all down. What's in it for me? Now that's a formula that I have just given you, pure and simple. Now if I were to ask you what 3 times 3 was, there isn't a person here who could not instantly answer it. But if I were to ask you what is 5,128 times 2,165, odds are enormous that very few of you could pop out the answer that quickly. But if I were to say to you, get your pencil and paper out, figure it out, then all of you could figure it out. Why? You know the formula. Now you see, if you know the formula, it really doesn't make any difference, ladies and gentlemen, what the goal really is.
What's the goal? What's the goal? Drop it in the comments. What's the goal? What's the big, massive, impactful goal? What's the goal? Listen, Jeremy Nolan contributed this quote this morning. I'm so thankful for Jeremy Nolan. You see, Jeremy is a husband. He is a father. He's the general manager of a dealership, I believe in Indiana. And his daily life is completely different than yours. I can guarantee it. I can absolutely make you this promise right now, that his daily life is completely different than yours. The reason I know this is because, you see, every single day Jeremy Nolan has a routine. He has a morning routine, and it starts the same. And he wakes up and he grabs his planner, and he puts on his headphones, he listens to the right things, puts himself in the right place. He does his gratitude, he does his goals. Jeremy does all of those things. And then Jeremy goes downstairs. And when he goes downstairs, he has to do some things that I guarantee you are completely different than what your morning looks like. Because you see, Jeremy has a wife, a beautiful, amazing wife who's been fighting for her life for years. Literally fighting for her life for years. There's been complications medically. There's been multiple times where they thought she wasn't going to make it. And so Jeremy goes downstairs and he tends to her wife's wounds. She has wounds on her body that appear, that come overnight. She has spots on her flesh that deteriorate and that get eaten away. And so he goes down and he tends to her wounds. He takes care of his wife. He has 2 kids, beautiful daughter, beautiful son. And he gets them all ready, packs them all up, gets them ready for school. He takes them to school. And then after doing all of these things, Jeremy goes into work. He goes into work as the general manager at a dealership, and it's his job to pump everybody up, to encourage everybody, to put a smile on everybody's face, to put a positive energy and a positive atmosphere into this dealership that he runs. And so he goes in and he does that every single day. If you go to Jeremy Nolan's page, which I highly suggest that you do, if you go to Jeremy Nolan's page, you're going to notice a couple things. You're going to notice in every single picture the guy's smiling ear to ear, and it's not a fake smile. There's nothing fake about it. It's a real smile because he comes from a place of gratitude. Even though every single day his life is a challenge, even though every single day the woman he loves is fighting against death, every day this man goes out there and makes an impact. He makes an impact. You'll see pictures of him and his kids traveling. You'll see pictures of him at work in his suit. You'll see all these different pictures. One of the things that you won't see, one of the things you won't really see in any of his pictures is you won't see his wife. You won't see his wife in a whole lot of pictures because his wife is in a battle for her life and has been for years. The reason that I want to share this story is because, you see, Jeremy Nolan lives every single day in a way that most people would crumble. Most people would absolutely crumble and fall apart if they had to live the life that Jeremy Nolan does. But listen, see, Jeremy understands the grind. He understands that these repetitive actions every single day are how he's going to get to the goal. He understands this. He gets it. And that's what I want to instill in you today. Listen, we got to get this thing moving. And I know the energy, the whole tone, everything just kind of shifted. I got a little tear in the corner of my eye here. If you guys could see some of the pictures that I've seen, if you guys knew the things that I know about Jeremy, you would understand. This guy loves relentlessly. He loves relentlessly. He has to do things that you just couldn't imagine. And he does it with joy in his heart every single day. We got to change the tone real quick. Listen, we're going to dive into this. We're diving into this quote. My man, Don Sankey, are you bowing out? Don't bow out, brother, because I'm getting ready to talk about you. So, listen, the quote. Let's just get straight to the quote. We're not going to dance today. Or do you guys want to dance? I keep going back and forth. Listen. All right. Let's dance real quick and get us back on track. Hey, no, I can't. I just can't do it. Listen, Jeremy for real is the real deal. He has a servant's heart and it's filled with joy. All right. So another guy, Don Sankey. This guy, Don Sankey right here. This guy, Don Sankey, he's another guy who understands the grind. He understands 100% this quote that says grind to perform repetitive motions over and over in order to obtain a goal. Don Sankey is headed towards 1,000 days straight of going to the gym. 1,000 days straight of going to the gym. No excuses. I'm out of town. He finds a gym. This guy actually only travels to places that have his gym. Like, if he's thinking, where am I going to go on vacation? If he's thinking, I need to go, I'm going to take a few days, or I need to travel, or I've got a business trip, or whatever, he looks at the map and finds his gym that he's a membership of, and that's where he travels to. Can you believe it? That's how he's been able. He's headed towards 1,000 consecutive days in the gym. And this is another guy that's a beast. Him and Jeremy Nolan are both beasts. They're just so strong. And here's another thing about Don Sankey. When you meet Don Sankey, I've had the honor of shaking his hand. When you meet him, the guy's got a smile on his face, ear to ear. And he has his own struggles. He has his own battles. He has battles with in the car business. He has battles with his son, his teenage son. He has his own battles. But yet he spends every single day going out and making an impact in my life, in your life, in the lives of the people around him, because he does it in joy, because he understands that the grind is to perform the repetitive motions over and over to attain a goal. It does not say in this quote, and I want to clarify this, it doesn't say in the quote that it's going to be fun. It doesn't say that. Nowhere in there does it say that it's going to be fun. Nowhere in there does it say that it's going to happen instantly for you, that you're going to get instant gratification, that if you do this same thing, this repetitive motion, if you grind every single day, if you're focused on your goal every single day, it doesn't say fun. It doesn't say instant. It just says you got to continue with the repetitive motion over and over and over in order to attain the goal. It doesn't say that it's going to be different every single day. It doesn't say, oh, well, today's going to be a little bit different. We're going to mix it up. It doesn't say that in the quote. It says to perform repetitive motions to attain a goal. Grind, to perform repetitive motions to obtain a goal. It doesn't say that you have to do it at 3:50 a.m., doesn't say that. It doesn't say that you have to do it with the way somebody else does it. Just because I get up at 3:50 a.m. doesn't mean you have to get up at 3:50 a.m. It doesn't say that. Just because Naomi Bussinger, just because she does things a certain way and she's lost a couple 100 pounds, just because she does it that way doesn't mean that you have to do it that way. It doesn't say that. It doesn't. All it says is grind, to perform repetitive motions to perform repetitive motions to attain a goal. That's what it says. That's what the quote says. So my question to you today is, what's the goal? What is the goal? Like, what's the goal, Tabby? Tabby Negrit, what's the goal? Gail Beecraft, what's the goal? Yvonne Leah, what's the goal? What is it? That's what I want to know. What's the goal, Cece? What's the goal, Janelle? What's the goal, Vicki Everett? What is it? I want to know what the goal is. You need to know what the goal is. And the goal needs to be big. It needs to be huge. It needs to be bigger than you. It needs to seem unattainable. It's that thing in here, in your heart. What is the goal? What is the big goal that's going to make the impact? I want you to seriously ask yourself that question today, because if your goal's not big enough, you will quit. If the goal's not big enough, you will quit. I promise. I promise you will quit. Because it's not always going to be fun. And it's not always going to be easy. And it's not always going to be different. Because that's not how you attain the goal. The way that you attain the goal is to perform repetitive motions. That's it. You perform it says it right here. This is like Zig Ziglar said earlier, this is the equation. If I gave you the equation, 3 plus 3 is 6, right? Okay, well, here's the equation. Grind to perform repetitive motions over and over again in order to attain a goal. That's it. That's your equation. That's what you need for today. You need to put that on your mirror. You need to put that on your phone. You need to put it somewhere. That's what grinding really looks like. Okay, you can put the hashtag Rise and Grind. You can say that you're Rise and Grind. You can do all of these things. I see people all over the place. TD Jakes talks about it. People think Rise and Grind, and they're like sleeping until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's not rising and grinding. The true definition of grind is right here. Jeremy gave it to us this morning. To perform repetitive motions over and over in order to attain a goal. What's the goal? What's the goal? I want to know. If your goal is not big enough, you're going to quit. If you don't know what the goal is, then when you don't want to, you're not going to. If the goal's not big enough, when it's not working for you, you're not going to continue. See, you have to understand, to perform repetitive actions in order to attain a goal, that means you have to do it when you don't want to. Sorry. You got to do it when you don't want to. You think Jeremy always wants to? Do you think Jeremy's like, oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to going downstairs today to my wife who's in pain and in agony and dressing her wounds and carrying her and taking care of her of her bodily functions? Do you think he like always just wants to? You think he's like, yay, I get to go do that? No, but he understands. He's got to perform these actions every single day with joy in his heart in order for him to attain his goal. His goal of having normalcy in his family, his goal of his kids growing up to be amazing human beings, his goals in his career, all of these goals, his goals with his wife to have this long-lasting marriage, all of his goals require him to perform the actions every single day, whether he wants to or not, whether he likes it or not, whether it's fun or not, he does it every single day. Most people underestimate the effort and the duration that it takes to truly achieve a goal. Do you know that? Most people underestimate the effort and the duration that it takes to achieve a goal. And so I'm here to tell you today, listen to me. It took you this long. Take your age, multiply it by 365, and it took you this long to, if for some of you, to screw things up at the point that you're at right now. For some of you to get to the level that you're at right now. For those of you that are winning, to get to where you are today. Those of you that are creating, to create the thing that you created today. It took you 365 days times however old you are to get where you are today. Knowing and understanding that, now flip around and set your expectations properly for the goals that you want for tomorrow. You can't screw up for 40 years and expect to fix it in 40 days. I'm sorry. It's not how it works. You can't dig a hole. You can't dig a hole for 30 years and expect to just climb right out of it in 30 days. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. Grind to perform repetitive motions in order to attain a goal. In your relationships, in your work, in the visions of yourself, you must grind. If you want to win at the highest level, grind. Listen, guys, I've been grinding. I've been grinding for a long time to get to where I am today, to dig myself out of the holes that I had dug, to change the mindset and the person that I am versus the person that I used to be. I've been grinding, man. I put it in the car business. These last 9 years of my life, I've never worked. I mean, it's insane. I can't even tell you all the hours. Can't even tell you the commitment. I continue to knock my alarm clock back. Knock it back. Because I got a goal, man. I got big, massive goals. And I understand that it's not fun and I don't want to. And I get all that. But you won't find me quitting. You won't. Actually, I did quit one thing. I quit my job back in October because my job was standing in the way of me achieving my goals. My job was keeping me in a box. It wasn't allowing me to reach and create at the level that I needed to. I wasn't able to reach and connect with as many people as I felt called to. I wasn't able to walk out the life that I know God has planned for me. So I did quit that one thing. But I don't quit because the goal is too big. I don't want you to quit. The goals are big. Lately, I have been grinding, putting together this thing right here, this Grow Your Business for God's Sake conference. I've been working so hard on creating this, man. It was something completely new. Nobody's ever done it before. And so every single day I've been working on creating this epic. I have this vision. I have this goal. I have this dream. And the goal doesn't just stop in Nashville. The goal is to go to Nashville, and then from Nashville to go to Houston, and then from Houston to go to places like I got people like Terry Collins reached out to me. They've got places in Delaware, and Blair with the marriage movement group. She reached out. They've got places in Florida that want to put things together. And so I've got goals to take this thing beyond outside of the United States and out into the world. I got big goals. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know if I grind every single day, if I perform the repetitive motions every single day to attain the goal, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. And speaking of that, I've been doing this giveaway where I'm giving away tickets to the conference and a breakfast with the speakers and access to my goalkeepers course and some Rise and Grind gear, hats, t-shirts, all of that. Every single day this week, I've been doing giveaways. And so today's winner is this guy right here. This guy right here went ahead and he shared he shared a video that I had, and he tagged a bunch of people. And this is Julio. What is Julio's last name? I wrote it down. This is my man Julio. Where's he at? There he is. Julio Molina. That's my man Julio Molina. He lives out there in Rochester, Minnesota. So Julio, congratulations. You just won and are going to the Grow Your Business for God's Sake conference. But listen, guys. If you and speaking of that conference, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, I highly suggest you go do it. You're never going to get an opportunity like this again for only $149. Thanks to our sponsors like Hunt Brothers Pizza that sponsored us. They were a speaker sponsor, which made it more affordable. Just put us in a position where we could really offer this experience at a super low cost. And then, of course, Marriage Movement, which is the group right here on Facebook. If you're a married couple, if you are married, you need to be in the group Marriage Movement. Ryan and Blair are incredible, and they'll teach you and your spouse how to be better together. But if you haven't got your tickets yet, we're down to 22 days. So you need to go out there and get your tickets. Meet me in Nashville. Meet me in Nashville. I know you might not, you might be thinking, oh, I can't afford it. I can't do it. I can't take time off of work, or all these other excuses. But what's the goal? What's the goal? Because you're never going to find more value in 36 hours. You'll never find more value than this right here. To be around these people for 36 hours. For 36 hours of your life. It will change your life. I know for a fact because it's changed mine. 100%. So listen, friends, there is a bigger calling for you, and it's going to require you to do the repetitive motions. You're gonna have to grind every single day in order to attain the goal. Repetitive motions every single day. But listen, when you step into that, there is more for you. There's something deep down inside that when you bring that out, it's going to make a massive impact on this planet. How do I know? Because you, my friend, are a child of God. Let that sink in. The God of the universe, the God that made everything, he made you to be the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. The best version, not the lazy version, not the I'll do it later version, not the someday island version, but the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And you're starting to make moves in the right direction. You got your Rise and Grind planner, you ordered it, you got it on the shelf, you're writing in it, you're sometimes using it, you're getting there, you're starting to move in the right direction. And I want you to understand that all of these little moves, they're making an impact. They're making an impact on your friends, on your family members, on your coworkers. It's made a massive impact on me. And I, for one, absolutely love you for it. I do. I absolutely stinking love you. You are my brother on this planet. You are my sister on this planet. You are my family. And I absolutely stinking love you. Focus on the goal. Get after it. Thank you, Jeremy Noling, for such a powerful, powerful quote. And for inspiring all of us today. You are an incredible human being. Absolutely incredible human being. What you do for your kids, for your wife, for your family, for this group, for me, for your people at work, you, sir, are making a massive, massive impact on this planet. So thank you so very much for being the incredible human being that you are. Listen, if you guys need more videos like this, you can go to GlennLundy.com. If you haven't done so already, hit that share button, please. We didn't do the dancing and all that today, but we had some real serious talk. So please hit that share button. I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. But if you need more videos like this, go to GlennLundy.com. And most importantly, have an amazing day. And then come see me here again tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We'll do it all over again on hashtag Rise and Grind.
On my feet before the sunrise, stepped into my greatness, feeling powerful and energized. Thankful to be alive. Hashtag blessed. Write my mission, vision, values, and my gratitude list. I'm building up momentum. I'm making good decisions. I rise, I grind, I get it. Ain't no doubt that I'm committed. Cause who really loses if I don't win? Can't cheat the grind, only get what you put in. So I'm mastering my mentals. I'm focused on my physical. I'm developing spiritually and manifesting miracles. I'm gonna get it started, have a party in the morning, and I'ma wake the world. It's so alarming. I hashtag rising.